Hey Dev, welcome, welcome. Excuse me, I still have one or two things I want to set up here. Let's get the correct hit counter up, I guess. Alright, yep. Cool. Yeah, I plan on making it a highlight and then probably uploading it to YouTube as well. So no worries. Okay. Alright. Probably just start then, if my sound settings are right. Or not. Got you. No worries. Okay, so I'll just be going through a run, I think, and then whenever an interesting section comes up, I have a save state ready and I'll go through it a few times, mention what I prefer to do and what other people are doing, give you a couple of alternatives and such. Hopefully you can make up your own route if any of the stuff I prefer doesn't work for you. So yeah, this starting section, just do it however you want. You can see me kind of jumping and grabbing the air, because that makes you fall faster, I think. You'd have to ask the speedrunners, but that's just what I'm used to doing. There's like a million different paths that work here, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it took me like a good 200 hours to get any good at this game, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, talk to Kuro. I think you can actually just skip this if you don't want to give the charm back. I guess I'll actually go over the settings just real quick. There's only a couple of things that kind of matter. If you turn the subtitles off, you can skip through them faster. If you like know what the dialogue's gonna be, you don't need to see the text, so you can turn this off. Anything else that matters? I guess I have these on. This one, this makes you refocus on the next target if you kill your enemy. It kind of auto locks on to whatever is next. I don't think this actually matters at all. This one makes you, when you're not locked on, it makes you kind of hit in the direction of enemies. I actually think you want this off, but I believe it doesn't really matter either. We'll see if something weird happens now that I've turned that off, and I'll know. But I don't think that matters. Okay. I have 40 hours, no worries. Plenty of time. So yeah, just run this path, you don't have to kill anyone. They'll never hit you. Some ash here you probably want to pick up. It's right along the way. Fall down there, obviously. Oh. It's kind of annoying. Sometimes you get kind of stuck on those branches, and sometimes you just run right off. But eh. See there, I got kind of stuck on that little ledge there. Okay, so Guinea 1. There's a lot of similarities between this one and the other Genichiro fight later on, but this one is a fair bit easier. The basic idea of most Genichiro fights is to just attack him in batches of 2, I would say. Then he'll block the first one, and then deflect the second one, or do something else. Hey person. So never, if he blocks your attack, just do one more attack and not 2, because otherwise he's gonna do a counter attack and kind of kill you. I'll kind of do this a few times to go over everything slowly. See, that's the counter slash right there. You always have to be ready for that one. When he does that jump, you can just kind of dodge sideways. Also important not to try and Mikiri, because obviously you don't have Mikiri right now. So, let's see. If he backs up, you just walk after him, he'll never attack you. When he does that little sweep attack, when he walks to your right, just hold your next attack, and it'll be a stab, and you'll cancel that attack. It's a bit faster. Like this, just stab. After you deflect the thrust attack, you'll get sent back. You can just dodge straight into him, and if you dodge immediately and then R1, you'll always hit him before he does an attack. So that way you don't have to think about anything. Alright, let's do that again. Yeah, I'm already noticing the game is going way faster than I can explain things, but hopefully we can cover everything important. Yeah, I'll be showing Ash Centipede along with some other things. Hey, home. So, let's see what else is worth noticing here. So yeah, stab, deflect, dodge immediately, R1. That way he doesn't do any weird moves. This one, just run away. This is actually not consistently deflectable, so just run away from that. Walk after him if you backsteps. Doesn't do any attacks. It's really like a rhythm thing. It's one attack I kind of want to show one more time. No, this guy doesn't actually use the bow. The next version of him really does. Okay. Yeah, so evading that to the right, as long as you dodge when he's like at the peak of his jump, just make sure you don't dodge too early because he does have tracking in midair. As long as you don't dodge early, that is like the faster way of doing it. Because if you deflect it, then he does a thrust attack and you have to deflect that too. And then you get sent back again, you have to do that dodge forward, and that works too. That's completely fine. But I would say the dodge sideways is a little bit quicker. Yeah, so that's a good point person brings up, and this is as good a time to explain as any, I guess. This is really important. Let me just go back. Actually, can I go back here? Hang on. Can I leave? I can, I guess. Actually, I hope I can. No, I can't. Okay, it's not gonna give me the sword back. So, the idea is the forward dodge animation in this game has 9 iframes, and when you're locked on, any other dodge animation gives you 6 iframes, which is terrible. So you always want to either dodge forward or be locked off. And when you're locked off, you'll always get the forward dodge animation, no matter where you're going. So if you need to dodge something and it's not going directly forward, you need to lock off to make your life easier. I'll show you, like, this is the backstep animation, 6 iframes. Right, 6 iframes. And let's show the forward animation, 9 iframes, that one. So you always want that forward animation, no matter where you're dodging. For this, the jump attack Genichiro does is actually like one of the only exceptions, I would say. You can just dodge that while locked on, even though you're going sideways, because you're actually just avoiding the hitbox, and you're not really using the iframes. Like you can see there, I got the wrong animation. But it doesn't matter, because like the hitbox is just on the other side. But if you want to use iframes, that's how you do it. Let's see if I can get him to do one more attack here. There, I'm not used to dodging to the left there, so I just lock off to be safe. To the right, I have the muscle memory, so I just stay locked on. Is the arrow barrage an exception? I would say it's not, but I don't dodge that, so... That move he did right at the end is one of the only other things you have to worry about. I would really like him to do that again, but he didn't. I'll fight him one more time, just to see if he does it. Because I kinda just killed him immediately, so that wasn't very helpful. It's this, he deflects you, and then he kind of winds up this double attack. He like puts the sword like way behind him, and then he does 2 slashes, and then he'll get ready for that big combo you want to run away from. See if he does it. If not, then we'll just move on. This one. It's like a punish you can do, but honestly, if it's your first run, you can also just deflect those first 2 hits and just run away. It's actually what I meant to do, but my muscle memory kind of took over. So I'll just show the easy way. Hang on. Come on, work with me here. Ugh. Okay, he's not gonna do it. This also happens sometimes. He'll do a thrust attack, but he won't send you back. If he does that, just attack, and you're fine. Okay, let's just move on. The other Guinea will do that attack as well, so we can show it then. Okay, so spawn here, just go behind the temple, grab the coin purse. You need these to get the firecrackers before Gyobu, which is well worth your while, I would say. I did not. That's a good point. I think he did it once. So, what person says is a good point. When he does that huge combo, the 6-hit combo that you can't deflect, in phase 2 he'll end it with an arrow. As long as you're far away enough, if you just sprint sideways it won't hit you. In phase 1 he'll never shoot the arrow, so that's just something to be aware of. So just make sure you don't come back in too fast. So this is just my route, running through everything. Nothing should really hit you, ever. I'm picking up an aqua sugar and some ash along the way. It's completely optional, I'm just showing where it is. You definitely want these coin purses, these 4 I just picked up. You can go here, grapple up to the left. This is the merchant. Yeah, the no pop-up thing is a mod. It's allowed for hitless. I would recommend it, but it's not necessary, obviously. I might link it in the video. So after you buy the firecrackers, jump down here, grab the gachins. You definitely want those, because you need at least one to get. Well, you don't need it. I'll actually show that as well. But if your run for some reason doesn't allow gachin sugars, then I'll show you how to get the stealth death blow on the ogre, even without one. But you definitely want to pick those up. So before we fight him, we want to go back to the sculptor and fit the prosthetics. And it's important that we do it now, because the ogre drops 15 emblems, which we're gonna need. But he only drops them if we have like a prosthetic. So this is why we go back here now and fit the firecrackers. I picked up the shuriken as well. It's just force of habit, I'm afraid. It's not actually required. I don't use the shurikens ever in this run. But you know, it's like 2 seconds to pick it up. It's not a big deal. So, I like hotbarring the homeward idol. Doesn't matter, obviously. Go up here, pop a gachin. If you jump at this flag, then those guys won't see you. Crouch. Walk up to him. Just make sure you're in the right place before you attack, because you're liable to miss the death blow otherwise. If you do this opener I'm doing, then you'll always stagger him before he can attack you. It's just a nice little thing. It's not required. So the idea here is to never lock on, so we always get the maximum iframe dodge, and we just stay behind him to stop him from attacking. But just don't get too greedy with it. Like, you can almost always attack 3 times after he's attacked and you dodged it. But yeah, we've all attacked an extra time and gotten hit. Like, that's just gonna happen. Just whatever you do, stay locked off for that fight, in my opinion. Then if you struggle with getting behind him, just do fewer attacks and let him turn. Just it'll be slower, but you shouldn't get hit as long as you're ready whenever he's about to do a move. So this path here, as long as you do this, I'll show this again in a second. But this path means you don't have to wait anywhere for this snake, and it's 100% consistent. There's no RNG involved or anything. You can kind of spam the right key here to get a faster shimmying animation. Now, normally you can just go in this hut, and you can stab him in the eye, but this is also actually optional. But it's easier, I guess. So if you want to do this, do this. In a sec I'll go back and show the faster option. Grapple there, and then you're safe. So let's go back. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. On the ogre, it's the backstab animation is slightly faster, so you might see me go behind him before I kill him. But that's just a time save. That doesn't matter at all. It's completely fine to kill him with any death blow, but you kind of have to. With the frontal death blow animation, the bead drops later, and you need the bead before the fog wall disappears, basically. So one more time, go to this branch, jump down, grapple again, run straight into the cave. He'll never see you. And he'll always attack that cave behind you. You can just keep going. Keep going here as well. Now the quick way is as soon as you're behind this ice here, jump away, run to the right of this hut, then turn left. The snake will miss you, and you can go past. It looks scary, it's really not. And in my opinion, it's a lot more... It's better on the sanity to just be able to get through this fast. But obviously optional. Other way works fine too. Come here, grab this Gachin. Grab this Akko. Wait for the spear guy to kinda go past you. If he goes yellow there on the aggro, it's fine. Doesn't matter. Grab these things down here. Grapple up. That gunner will see you, but you always make it past to this corner and then you can just grapple up. So you don't have to kill him. You also don't have to wait for him to shoot like I did there. Now here, equip an aqua sugar. So this is a scripted kill for phase 1, which I think is quite nice. You need an aqua sugar and firecrackers. So you kind of pick up the ash here, walk to this little cylinder, Akko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 firecrackers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 firecrackers. Grapple to him. 1, 2, 3. He'll always stagger. And then just keep attacking. One more firecracker and kill him. And you can do 2 hits as he runs away. Now, I'll go over this fight a few times because this is just a really hard fight. Yeah, see, there immediately. Whenever he staggers, you can just wail on him because he's gonna run away afterwards. So you don't have to worry about anything. This move you can deflect if it wants to hit you. You can also just jump over and grapple to him. Whenever he does that turn, you want to always grapple because otherwise some very bad things happen. I'm just kind of showing all the moves here. I'd say there's not too many tricks to this one. At least when you're fighting him with just a sword. It's just a hard fight. He has a lot of moves with different timings, and if you lose your path, he's just gonna hit you. Yeah, there is the runaway strat where you kind of you don't deflect anything, you just run away and then hit him after he does a certain move. I've honestly never done that, so I can't really comment on if that produces any memes or not. I just don't know. Okay, so I already picked up the ash here in the save. So I'll show the phase 1 kill again. Akko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 firecrackers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 firecrackers again. He'll always do that turn, so grapple to him. 3 attacks, he'll stagger. 1 more firecracker. Hey, Shoki. So the firecrackers in phase 2 will stun him. Let's see if he stuns you. Yeah, but he'll always do this attack afterwards. So just be aware of that, but it's still quite useful because it does a lot of cluster damage. That move is another one to be aware of. He does it quite often after that 3-hit combo he just did. Oh, I suck. Let's see if he does it again here. Oh, I staggered him. So 1, 2, 3. Does a lot of posture damage if you want to deflect that. But jumping over is really easy as well. Okay. Do it one more time. I think one of the most important things in this fight is to just always know which side you're on, essentially. Because his moveset is, it depends on which side of the horse you're on. If you're behind the horse, he can do a kick, which is quite difficult to react to sometimes. And if you're on his, if you're on his left side, then he'll always do this spinning around move. He'll like swing the spear around and kind of turn you so that you're in front of him. And if you're on his other side, he has like a whole variety of moves. More. So 6 hits here. Firecrackers again. You'll notice it doesn't stun him the second time because there's a... Oh! Almost missed the grapple there. That should be consistent. Okay, let's see. So see, now I'm on his left side, he's gonna do the spin attack. That one. Then I'm in front of him, and then he does like a move. That's a tricky one for sure. I like to run away from the second hit there, but it's just preference. Not sure what else to mention here. So I guess that's one more thing to mention. You have 15 emblems, so you can be quite aggressive with the firecrackers. Even if the stun cooldown isn't over. I think it's like 15 seconds, something like that, maybe 20 seconds. Even if you know he's not gonna stun, you can still use it and it'll do a lot of posture damage. So you can be pretty aggressive. I'll do it one more time. Sometimes you can get an extra hit in there. It's not required. Like now he's gonna stagger. Oh, I guess he's not gonna stagger. I actually don't know what happened there. Okay, I actually have no idea why he didn't stagger. I'm sorry. Okay, now he's gonna stagger, I guess. So this attack he does right now, you always want to kind of run in a circle around him like you saw me do there. Because if he does that move when he's heading straight for you, he will hit you and there's nothing you can do. See if we can do it again here. No, he doesn't want to do it. Yeah. During that charge move, the horse gets a hitbox, and it's just impossible to deflect both the horse and the spear. So you can deflect that, by the way, the perilous attack there. I just like going under and doing a bit of damage to him. That is... yeah, that's a good meme. I've actually not seen that before. Or not in a very long time. I don't remember that happening. I think, I can only imagine it has to do with hitting him an extra time there. Just do the 5 hits, firecrackers, 6 hits, firecrackers as he runs away, and then don't attack him, I guess. 'Cause that's what I did different there. I kinda got pushed in front of the horse, so I could attack him when he ran away. That, for some reason, made him not stagger. I don't know why it would, though. So after the fight, use the memory. Open the door. I like killing this gunner. You don't have to. Grapple up. This guy you do want to kill. Backstab him. This is for the quest line to get the skill tree. Just run across. Talk to him, skip through all the dialogue. Select accept. Grab the skill tree. Now, this is also optional. We grabbed this heavy coin purse before the Gyobu arena. It was under this house next to some amiibo balloons. I sell that here and I just buy as much ash as I'll ever need for like any run ever. So, all of the ash pickups, if you're buying this, or if you're doing that thing where you just bought 12 ashes, you don't need to pick up any other ash. Just pick up like the 2 in the tutorial and then you're just set for the whole run. I'm just showing the pickups in case you don't want to do that for some reason. Because for other runs you might need a lot more ash and then you might want to do both. But for Shura, it's like 12 is really enough. So I like this path. Doesn't aggro anyone. Completely fine. Go up here. Then you do a wall jump here around the corner, so those guys down there, those guys don't see you. Alright, so bull. Normally I use a confetti and an Akko, but I guess I messed up the save file, so I don't have an Akko here. That's not a big deal. Because it's not like the damage really matters. It just makes the fight longer or shorter. Yeah, I don't grab the Akkos. There's 2 Akkos you can get before this, but then you can't do this path I just took. You have to kind of go a different way. I don't pick them up, but they are there. I guess maybe I could show them in post. I'll probably be too lazy for that though. I assume a lot of other routes pick those up. Okay. So yeah, normally confetti. Backstab that guy. Stand here. Bull should run over both people. Then just kind of reset, because he can do a few different things. So just make sure after he kills both those dudes that you get to his side. And like this, as long as you stay away from his head, he'll never actually attack you. So I'll just like kind of kite him around a little bit just to show you. Okay, sometimes he'll stop like that. So this is a loop I like to do. Whenever he's stationary, you can just stand behind his leg like that, and then he'll do that sideways sweep with his head. That works whenever he staggers. You can get him to start doing that, and whenever he stops by himself. I'll show it again here. That stab slash. It's a bit of bad RNG there. So behind his leg. Okay, he's bugging. See, just to show the position. You can keep this going for like a very long time. And then one stab and a slash kind of lines up perfectly with your next dodge. So that's the loop I like to do. It's not completely, like he's not stun locked. He can leave, it's just a bit unlikely. Like that's the move that makes him leave. So you just dodge to the back and then you know he's just gonna run away. You can do that little stab into his butt as he runs away, but you don't have to. You can stomp him to the ground to make the death blow a bit quicker, but just be careful because if you don't get the death blow quick enough, he gets up. Do that again. There's a couple of memes I want to show with this fight. I think so, yeah. I believe stabs do like bonus damage to him. So whenever you see an opportunity, try to go for a stab if you can. Dodge through that whenever he does it. I'll show that. Let's say you make a bad positioning mistake and he gets away from you. You wanna, as soon as I know he's gone, I just wanna go very far away from him, and then he'll always do this attack, and I can dodge through it if I don't suck. That's a very nasty move there. Just kind of go past his head. I got hit there because I got stuck on his head, so you wanna really clear him, go past him like that. Just make sure if he kind of turns in front of you there, you could see it just now. Let's see if he does it again. He does that turning animation. He'll actually, that's actually an attack. It looks like he's just doing the normal turn, but he's actually attacking you. Because his ass gets a hitbox when he gets close to you, so you want to be careful of that. See if he does it again here. No, I guess he's not going to do it. This is just, obviously, you shouldn't really be in this position normally, but if it happens, that's how you want to get past him. Okay, he's just not going to do it, I guess. Yeah, you want to be behind him, so that way you can kind of attack him as he turns every time. And as soon as you stagger him or he stops by himself, you can do that loop I showed you. There, he stopped, so okay, bad RNG. Staggered him, go to his leg, there you go. So I guess I didn't explain it, but it should go without saying, you want to play this fight locked off, just to get the iframes. And also, another reason to not lock on is because it actually aims you at his head, which is kind of not where you want to be. There's strats that let you do headshots, and that makes it quicker, but personally I think this is safe. Whenever he does the turn, just make sure you're not right in front of him, not near his head, basically. Yeah, fastball, I never got it to really work. Okay, so that's bull. Actually, I have an extra Akko, so let's... after you kill the bull, you can actually just pull out the idol and go to last communed idol. And it'll put you behind those two dudes on the bridge, and those guys actually despawn. Even if you kill the bull right next to the door, as long as you pull out the idol as soon as you can, you'll actually make it out. So you see, like, this is where those dudes were aggroing, and they're just gone now, so you don't have to go past them or anything. Is the fire build up from deflecting him? That isn't a hit, but you actually can't deflect him. Because he just does straight up damage to you if you deflect him. So that's not an option. Yeah, so you can't deflect the bull in hitless, unfortunately. Just realized what happened there. Okay. Okay, so after this, talk to this old lady. Just talk to her once. Equip the Amiibo balloons you picked up before Gyobu. And if you just pop these right next to her, she gives you an Ungo sugar, an Akko sugar, and a confetti, which is pretty useful, I would say. So right now I'm gonna grab the spear, because it's kind of efficient to do it now. Backstep that guy. Grapple over. I could do this wall jump here. And you can grapple there. It looks scary. It's not that scary. Just make sure you're sprinting before you jump off the area with the bell guy there. Right, well, Birds is wrong. She does give a confetti. She'll always give you the same things. 1 Ungo sugar, 1 aqua sugar, and a confetti. So pick up the spear, pick up the heavy coin purse, and go back to the dilapidated temple. The reason why it's technically efficient to grab the spear now is that now we get both skill books with 1 visit. Because the sculptor's gonna give us 2 skill books now. Then we don't have to come back here multiple times. This is the last time we have to go here. See, Shinobi text. Then as soon as we equip the spear, he'll give us the other one. We actually don't need that second skill book, but we need all 3 of the... Actually we don't. We need the spear and the firecrackers. But yeah, the point is this is the last time you have to visit the sculptor. So that's nice. Nice. At long last. Okay, so this next part, some people have trouble with this as well. Actually, this is where you buy Mikiri. You can do it at any of the next idols, but this is probably the best place to do it. So, grapple like this. Go here. Now, I'm not sure if I can see him. That guy up there, it's like above my head now. He is the most dangerous Nightjar along this area. If you just go up here and grapple straight across, he'll almost always hit you. Alright, see you around, person. Thanks for hanging out. So there's a couple of ways to deal with him. Some of them involve Gachin Sugar, some of them don't. I actually like one of the strats that doesn't. So I'll just show it here. Grapple up here. Crouch. Go to this back corner here. He'll start seeing you. Wait for him to go yellow. Walk left. Then you can just go across here, and he's just kind of doing his thing over there. He won't actually aggro. Or when he does, it's too late. Now this is completely safe to just run through here. If you run straight at that guy, he'll usually whistle. But even if he doesn't, it's not a big deal. So I'll do that again. There's one more strat I can show you, I guess. Pretty much all of the strats involve aggroing that Nightjar until he's yellow and he starts investigating, and then that makes him like not aware of where you actually are when you grapple across. So one more, go to the back corner here. Actually, okay. I believe one other strat. Let me see if I remember it right. You go here. So as soon as you grapple here, you just crouch. Wait for him to go yellow. This time he's not going to walk over to like the right side. He's just going to go straight forward. He's going to look around a little bit. We can pop a Gachin if we want to. And he's going to forget about you. And when he's turned around, you can just go across. Both strats work fine. I like the other one because it works without Gachin. I'm not sure if this one does. Okay. So next up, there's 2 ways that you can go to Genichiro. I'll just show the easy way, or what I would say is the easy way. Backstab that blue guy, open the door here. You don't need an active Gachin, by the way, here. I just have it active now, it doesn't matter. None of them can hit you. The benefit of this path is that those you get 2 extra gachins from that pickup there. The other path that I'll show in a bit, you won't get them, but that's fine. So drop down here, run past these guys. This looks scary, it's completely consistent if you take this path I'm taking now. No matter what attack they do, you should be able to just run in a straight line there as long as you line it up right. So that's one way to get to Gini. Then when you're up here, like, grapple there and the fight starts. So, we just show the other way. This way is a little bit faster, and it skips those 2 gachin sugars that I mentioned. Which shouldn't be that big of an issue for a Shura run. There's not too many gachins that you'll need. And there's a lot of other pickups that I'll show that you can do. But for this other strat, you go into this window here. Run this way, just make sure you're running. And then... Can't really explain this very well because I assume most of you are playing on controller and I'm playing on keyboard, but you kind of just flick this way and then we'll jump off there. Now you're up here, you can grab those. Then up here, this is the same place as we ended up last time. Grapple there to start the fight. I'll just show that skip one more time. So stand in the window, point the camera this way, run forward, click right, build it there. I think you probably want to rest whenever you fail. So there's a Nightjar that comes down and blows up, but I think the other one can survive. Then if he sees you, he can start throwing stuff. So. Okay, they both died, so I can just keep going. Oh, no I can't. Yeah, see? I'm not sure where that came from, but I guess you should rest whenever you fail. I don't do the skip too often, so not very good at it. But if you get this reasonably consistent, it is faster, for sure. There we go. Okay. So now, for the second Genichiro fight, a lot of things are the same, except we have Mikiri now, so we can use that. Whenever he does that jumping slam attack, we can just deflect it, and if he follows up with a thrust, we can actually Mikiri for a lot of posture damage. And he's gonna start using the bow a lot, which is a bad thing. There's one move in particular to watch out for. I'll let him do it a few times. I'll talk about it as we go. It's this move where he backs up, he does a back step, and then he is gonna jump into the air and shoot 4 arrows. For the start, I just want to run around him. Now, there we go. Now we're fighting him. That's the that back step. Whenever he does that, be aware of the. Okay, you should never see these moves. I was just talking there. Whenever he does that backstep there, he's gonna do the jumping arrow attack, assuming he has like 33% posture depleted. Otherwise, all these other bow attacks you just saw, you can just keep attacking through them, and it'll automatically cancel them for you. Run away from this. Deflect, Mikiri. In first phase, he'll always do a thrust attack. There we go. That's the move I was talking about. So that's one way to deal with it, is you just deflect the first 3 and then dodge through. It's actually possible to deflect all 4, but the 4th arrow is pretty difficult to deflect, from my experience. So let's see if we can do it a few more times. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Dodge. Gonna try not to damage him too much to see if he wants to do that move a few more times. There's that bow attack that person was talking about a while ago for Guinea 1. Okay, let's kill him. There I showed another way to deal with it. If you're just holding forward, you probably saw me holding forward for quite a lot there. If not, go back, check the input tracker. You can kind of hold forward the whole fight. Then if he deflects and does a backstep, you just walk after him, and you'll always attack him in time before he jumps up into the air. So for this phase, walk under this. A lot of overlap. There's a sweep attack from the first Guinea fight. You can just stab it the same way as before. Don't do what I just did. Don't do that R1. Unless you plan on deflecting the next 2 hits. Stab. Deflect this, don't jump over that. I see people jump over that sometimes. Please don't do that. It's not actually a sweep attack. It's gonna... it's a very tight jump. It's possible to jump over it, but it's just making life difficult for you for no reason. So for actual sweep attacks, you get special... You get like a special kind of iframe for it, where you're like invulnerable to sweeps for like a whole second as soon as you press the jump button. So that obviously doesn't count for that attack, and it can just hit you in midair, and you don't want that. Okay, let's do that fight at least one more time. We'll see. So I'm gonna try and show the arrow cancel a few more times. He's gonna let me. So whenever you're trading hits with him, just hold forward, and as soon as he backsteps, just keep walking towards him. You don't have to dodge or sprint or anything, just walk after him, and you'll hit him in time. Like that. Obviously he wasn't gonna pull out the bow there, because I haven't done enough damage, but if there was enough damage, I would have cancelled it. There's a cool little punish for that move if you are so inclined. There's the bow cancel right there. Let's see if he wants to do it a few more times. But yeah, the jumping bow move is really the main thing you want to be worried about for this fight. Sweep attack, just jump over it. There it is, cancel. In phase 2 here, after he does that jumping slam attack, he can do either a thrust or a sweep. So you can't autopilot it anymore. But you have plenty of time to react. I want to show the first phase one more times. I guess we'll do this phase. Shirahagi the opener. This one, walk right a little bit. It'll never hit you. Walk right. You can actually, most of the time, you can keep attacking there and the shot will go over your head, but there's a few edge cases where that doesn't work. So that's why I would recommend just walking sideways there when he does that bow attack, the lightning bow. He was about to do a cool move that I need to show, but alas. Do one more time. He has one more lightning move you need to be aware of. Just kind of like a horizontal slash with lightning. When he does that, the idea is to not hold a direction. So don't hold any direction and then just press the dodge button. And you'll see, you'll just go wherever your character is facing. You'll get that forward dodge that you want for the most iframes, because you need to iframe that attack. So just make sure you're not holding a direction, and you'll actually go the direction you want to go in anyway. So just make sure you don't like, you're not going like forward and right, and then you might get the wrong animation, and that's really bad for you. So walk after him if he does that backstep. Walk after, cancel. Always a thrust attack in phase 1. Being a bit aggressive here to just get to the lightning phase. One thing I should mention is the method where you cancel this bow attack. It's quite easy to do it after a little bit of practice. Like, I'm just holding forward and just attacking him, you know, it's not super difficult. But there is a few edge cases where he'll be able to backstep and you won't be able to catch him. So you do need to be ready to deflect the arrows in a pinch. The main situations are when he's just done a thrust attack and you've Mikiri'd him. If he backsteps then, you might not catch him. So just, it's quite rare, but just be aware of it. Okay, so let's see if he wants to do the lightning move here. Deflect this. You'll always do a thrust afterwards, which is actually kind of good for you as well. So deflecting that's definitely good. I'll just run away from this. That combo, he can actually cancel it into that opening thrust you saw, where he like lunges towards you with a thrust attack. Here it is, dodge. And you'll kind of just go past him, and then you can just keep attacking him. You might have seen I let go of forward there. I could have kept holding forward as well, it's the same thing, but... Okay, hopefully that's most of the things you'll need to know for this fight. I guess there's one more thing I could show. There's a cheese for this fight. I actually think it's not as easy as it looks. I actually think fighting him is easier, which kind of sounds ridiculous, but I'll show the cheese, hopefully. I'll show the easiest version of the cheese that I know of. The cheese only works for the first 2 phases, by the way, which are probably the hardest, to be fair, but so I'm just gonna start the fight here. I'm gonna run past him, and then I'm gonna do a specific setup. R1, one more, jump. Now, when he's in this cheese, see there I did it wrong. It's important that you only do 4 attacks, and then you wait for your animation to reset before you start attacking again. I actually did it wrong, and I didn't wait for long enough. And then I did the let me just load back in here so I can explain. The 5th attack in your combo actually misses him, so you need to make sure you never get that animation. And I did it wrong, so 1, 2, 3, 4, those will all hit him. But if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that fifth one, that kind of diagonal slash, that'll miss. So it's important to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then kind of pause, and then do 1. Yeah, see? You can tell I haven't done this in a long time. You need to make sure you wait long enough. Yeah. I think there's other setups for it as well, but that's the one I know that is easiest. You can actually kind of flick the camera to make the fifth one hit, but that's kind of tricky as well, so. But yeah, since I don't really know that strat too well, I'm just gonna fight him again. And then we'll carry on. But yeah, this fight is just really hard. It's probably one of the main roadblocks for new runners, I would say. Run away. Never mess with that attack. It's really bad. Walk after him. It's gonna do the bow like that. Make sure you're far away enough and it won't hit you. That's the bow that person was talking about. The first Geni does that as well. Run away. The bow, come back in. And yeah, like I said, that bow attack to cancel the combo only happens in phase 2. Oh, this is awkward. But yeah, as you can see, you have a fair amount of time to get out if you get in a bad position like that. I hear some people use chasing slice in this fight. I don't know, Fliss, I've never heard of that. What an interesting strat. I'm just gonna stick to what I know here. Walk to the right. All these bow attacks, like 3 hits. Jump over. Dodge. Just make sure you don't dodge early, but apart from that, it's not... As long as you get the correct animation, it's not that bad of a dodge, honestly. I just met... Yeah, okay, I forgot to mention one thing. Whenever he does these sweep attacks, I don't like head stomping him. Because there is... there's some memes that can happen when you head stomp. Just enemies in general in this game. Their recovery time, sometimes they just skip it and they just start attacking you in midair. And it gets ugly. I really don't like head stomping pretty much any enemy. There's a few hyper armor attacks that are just extremely difficult to deal with if they start doing them early. Thanks for GG. So yeah, Fliss, this is a tutorial I'm recording, so if you have any questions about any of the stuff that doesn't make sense, then please let me know, because I would like this to make sense. Yeah. After the fight, talk to Kuro. Select obey the iron codes, otherwise he's just gonna make you choose again. Talk to him again, get the item. Examine the burner. Talk to him again. Then he starts walking, so when he starts walking I go back to the idol to upgrade my attack power, so it's a good time as any. Then when he stops walking, talk one more time. Yeah, we did Gyobu already. It's just a super hard fight. It really is. This has a whole lot of moves. There's a scripted kill for phase 1 I showed a little bit earlier, but So yeah, after you open the window, you go to Isshin, skip through all this dialogue, select About Immortal Severance, and then select this. Now here's this item right here. That's a Gachin sugar in case you want it. Shouldn't be necessary. Same thing here. This is another Gachin. But the point is to go from that roof, you go down here. Because this is important. Pop the coin purse. Should have picked that up when you got the spear. Talk to Badger. And buy his 3 Yash. That's very important. Now we go back to the last island. Okay, so now you have a few options. We can go to Gunfort, do that early, or we can go to Senpou Temple and get the Mortal Blade. I actually kind of like doing Gunfort early, because it's just a hard running section. So if you get if you just get a hit, then you know it's earlier in the run. That's nice. And there's like a bug I can't really explain, but basically reloading that area, essentially going up to Gunfort and then going away and coming back there, it makes one of the bosses like 1% weaker for some reason. Just don't ask me how that works. It doesn't matter for most runs, but that's another reason to do this early, I guess. I like going under him like that. You can probably just grapple straight to him and run past, but I got used to killing him. Same with this guy, you can just grapple straight down there to that grapple point, but I just like killing him. Kill his lizards. Okay. So this is the worst section in the game right here. So I like to pop a Gachin here. You almost definitely want a Gachin when you're going down this part. This is like one of the only Gachins that I would really recommend using. Make sure you get this grapple point on that branch. It's a bit finicky with the camera controls, but just try and grapple to that specific point, because it puts you closer to where you want to be. Okay, and then when you're here, crouch, walk this way. That guy down there, he was alerted. You have to wait for him to go unalerted. Run. Jump across. There's like dozens of strats for this section. I've only recently switched to this one, so I'm not a huge authority on Gunfort strats, to be honest. The problem is this bridge section is extremely finicky. You want to make sure you do the same. You run through the same line and you do the same timed grapples every time. Because there's a whole bunch of RNGs that the gunners can do. They can shoot at different times, so if you add inconsistency to that by doing different things, then that's just gonna make it worse. Okay, when you're down here, obviously it's safe to just wait for those guys to the aggro like I just did. Then you can pop another Gachin if you want. Makes this next part a little bit easier. It's really not necessary anymore, but I like using another one. If you don't use another one, that guy up there you have to kill. But since we have a Gachin, we don't have to kill him. This guy I would recommend killing regardless. Same with this guy. And to the right here, I like grabbing those snap seeds. And then you're here, you rest, because sometimes they chase you down here, so you probably want to rest. Do that again. Hopefully the save state works. I had some issues setting this up. Okay, yeah. So yeah, definitely do this gachin. Down here. Get that grapple point. Turning the camera to the right there helps getting that grapple point, but it's honestly, it's kind of a bullshit tree. It likes giving you the other grapple, so just try and play around with it for a bit. Again, crouch, walk here. Wait for that guy to stop being yellow, so you see the yellow triangle, waiting for that to disappear. Run. Cut across. Okay, now I'll show this second section without Gachin Sugar. Just in case you're tight on them or you don't want to use any, there are strats to do this part without Gachins as well. I just haven't done them in a while, so I'm not gonna mention them here. But in case you're strapped for them, you don't need one here, you can just grapple straight. They'll start to see you, but they'll never have enough time to actually see you. And like I said, we have to kill this guy now. Otherwise he might see us when we grapple up the next tree. Kill this guy. I should mention, this is without any passive stealth skills. So if you have passive stealth skills, some of this might look different. So just keep that in mind if your route grabs the suppress presence and suppress sound skills. This might be a little different. I don't have either of those right now. Okay, so this last part, without the Gachin, it doesn't really matter if you pick those snap seeds up. Or, sorry, with a Gachin, it doesn't matter. But now that we don't have one, it's actually really important that we grab those, because it makes that shotgun dude in front of the doorway, it kind of AI manipulates him somehow into just walking forward and not shooting. He'll detect us, and then just do a few steps forward and he'll never shoot. It doesn't make any sense, but... see if I can show it here. See? He just starts walking. He won't attack. So if you intend on doing that without a Gachin, just make sure you do that. Make sure you grab those snap seeds. Okay, and now we've done Gunforts. We definitely don't want to go past here right now until we have the Mortal Blades, but it's a nice section to get out of the way early. But like I said, we can also just you can also just do this later. It doesn't make a difference in terms of time. So to get to Senpou Temple, we go this way, same way we went to grab the spear. Now we go over. Some people shoot these dogs with shurikens. This is why the shuriken is completely unnecessary. If you just sprint through, like, I'm a million miles ahead of them. Like, they'll never catch up to me. So really, really unnecessary. You might want to use the shuriken for some other strat, I don't know. But it's definitely not necessary to kill those dogs. So... I guess in the safe file pick them up. There's two Akos in this boat here. We don't need them for Shura, but in case you're a damageless runner, then you might want to pick those up, because you can't use Yashiriku. If you go to the corner there and you see that guy turn to you, then make sure you don't... make sure you shimmy back over and kill him. Sometimes he turns, sometimes he doesn't. If he doesn't turn for you, you can just climb straight up and run past. But if he's turned for you, you don't want to do that. That's just the most popular strat there. Okay. So this, before I forget, this is a gachin, in case you want that. Kind of set up the save files in a bad way, but not to worry. This is an Akko. One Akko. This is another Akko. Gone past all of this. I took a pretty bad path past those first few monks. You could see some of them attacked me, but you can be pretty fast and loose with it. It's not... I don't think I've ever been hit by any of them. No gachin required for that. Just make sure you grapple to this cave kinda quickly, because those guys behind you do have a projectile attack. That guy with the glaive down there, I see is doing it now. He does have a projectile attack, so kinda wanna... You don't want to stand around there for too long. Okay. I think I messed up the save files, but... So... Yeah, I did actually. Okay. So when you get here... you want to... buy Ichimonji and both these passive ascending and descending carp. You want both of these. These are just like some of the best passive skills in the game. They just make all the fights slightly quicker by letting you deal more posture damage. So yeah, if you go to Gunfort before this, you should have enough skill points. If not, you might have to backstab one or two monks along the way. I would recommend doing that. So go past here. Crouch. He'll drop down. Let him do like 1 or 2 steps. And go and backstab him. Grapple over. Backstab him. This is another gachin sugar, in case you want that. You don't have to kill that guy down there. You can just go up here. Kill this last guy. Then you're up and over. I'm just gonna show one thing that potentially could go wrong here. The first guy, I said wait for him to drop down and then wait for him to do 1 or 2 steps. I'll see if I can show what happens if you don't. So he drops down, we just go straight, gun straight for him. Yeah, see, that guy, the one we didn't kill last time, he heard it, and now he's gonna aggro when we go across. That means he's gonna throw stuff at us. And now this is all fucked up now. So yeah. So yeah, definitely wait for him to do that step forward. It's just like 1 or 2 steps, and then he'll never hear you. If he does happen to hear it, just watch out for the yellow triangle, and as soon as you notice the triangle, just don't grapple across to that little island. Just wait for him to de-aggro again, and then you're fine. Yeah, you can see he can be pretty quick and he'll still not miss. It's only if you like instantly death blow him. This last guy. Alright, so now it's Armored Warrior. It's coming up next. Hey everyone, it's me from the future. I just wanted to re-record this part because I think I did a pretty bad job at explaining everything. So for this fight, you have a Yashiriku available, and you'll still have Yash available for all the other fights where you would want it. So no worries if you want to use it here. So I'm gonna run in, do an opener. Firecracker him, 2 R1s, Ash, 5 R1s. We'll get a stagger in there. There. And deflect. Usually he'll instantly do the rage combo, so get ready to put him near an edge. Like that. And he'll almost always die on that last hit. And if you're near an edge, you can just turn around, kick him off. That's like 90% of the fights will go like that. I'll just do it a few more times. There are situations where he'll do different attacks and he won't actually do the combo until he has a little bit more damage on him. Then it gets a little bit trickier because on that last hit of the combo he moves forward a lot and you kind of want him to move forward. So if he has more damage on him, then he might not be able to do that final hit, which moves him forward. We'll see if I get that RNG. Here I have a little bit more damage, maybe it's enough. Oh. But hopefully you get the point. If I would have killed him one hit earlier, this position, he's like right here, and it's a little bit more awkward to kick him off. If that happens to you regularly, maybe try going for fewer punishes until he does the rage combo, because with the Yashiriku Sugar, as soon as he does the combo, you should be able to kill him, like almost always on the last hit. So if you just go for a little bit less damage in the start of the fight, you should be able to get that consistently. Personally, I think it's a pretty rare case that even is a problem though. So you'll usually deflect 1, maybe 2 attacks before he does this combo. Like that. So hopefully that covers everything. This is just a way to script it as much as possible. Weird things can happen. Maybe you kick him in the wrong place, or something goes wrong, you'll just have to fight him. Learn all the moves. I think I've shown it already, but when he does this big overhead slam, I like to stab him afterwards, because that just puts you right next to him again. Because that big slam kind of pushes you backwards a lot. So if you stab right after that, you just get back to where you want to be. Let's see if he does it here. Yeah, that's the quickest move he can do. You still have time to react. You see, he moves forward a lot there, so he was very far away from the edge. He was like right here when he started the combo, and I was still able to kick him off. So just make sure you position yourself before he starts doing that combo, and you should be fine. Okay, that's about everything. I'm gonna edit something in. Hopefully that was somewhat clear. If you stick to the left here, stick to the left side of this roof, that guy will not see you. If you go over this part, he will see you and he'll start throwing stuff. So stick to this part. And after you're After you're like here, you can just come over. He won't see you anymore, and then you can just come up this thing. Okay. I like to use a Gachin here. It lets you do a completely safe strat that will not have anything thrown at you, which is always nice. You want to stay very far away from those guys, because like I said, they have a ranged attack. Stick close to the corner when you're coming to that third guy. That way you're like well past him by the time he can attack. And the other benefit is that this Gachin is... There's enough time left on this Gachin to kill the monkeys. So just kill the invisible one immediately, then grapple, kill this one. I like just grappling to the middle here, throw a firecracker as soon as you land. Kills him. Now for the last one, he's up there, and we want him up there, in that big building in the back there. The way we do that is we let him see us here. Then we grapple down here. You can also keep running across that, but that spawns a few purple monkeys. So you don't want to spawn them, just go here. Yeah, okay, he's already passed. So yeah, if you let him see if you let him see you when you're at that place where I was, he'll always go up into this attic here. Then you can just kill him. Show one more strat, I guess, without Gachins. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, no Gachin strat. Still kill this monkey. And just crouch behind the screen. The red monkey has seen us now, so we need to wait for him to de-aggro. Again, this is just in case you're short on Gachin sugars for some reason. Now, grapple down here. That'll send that green monkey up there, which is where you want him. Now grapple this, just like before. Run up to halfway. That'll send the purple monkey into the attic like before, but this time we grapple to this tree. And then we grapple here. And that sends that green monkey onto this platform. And if we ring the bell, he'll get stunned. The purple monkey's in the attic now, and he won't move till we get there to kill him. So after kill the green monkey, just grapple over. It's not that much slower than the Gachin strat, so I think that's kind of nice. Alright. Got the Mortal Blade. Sit down. Now, the skills we want here are Whirlwind Slash, the Emblem, and Midair Deflection. Here's the memory. And then, if you've already done Gunfort, you go to the Gunfort idle now. But like I said, I messed up the save files, so I have to do Gunfort again. Hey everyone, me from the future again. Again, just re-recording this part to give a little bit of a better example than I could do live. So This is the second Yash we want to use in the route. And the strat I'm gonna use, you need 16 emblems, Mortal Draw, a Yashiriku, and 5 Ash. If you're following the route so far, you should have all of that. Just make sure you equip Mortal Draw, because that's gotten me hit before. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Yashiriku Sugar. I'm gonna run up to him, stun him with a Firecracker, hit him with an R1, then stun him with an Ash, and then do an R1 afterwards. Do that 5 times, so use all 5 Ashes. And after the last R1, I'm gonna Mortal Draw him to kill phase 1. Just gonna do that real quick, and I'll talk a bit more. So Firecracker, R1, Ash, R1 5 times. Mortal Draw. He doesn't have time to hit you. This is the script for phase 2. And as you see, we use all 16 emblems. So you do actually need that emblem skill we picked up after the monkeys. Just in case, if you forget to pick that up and you travel to Gun for it and you notice like, oh, I don't have the emblem skill, and you just buy it real quick, then you need to rest at the idol. Otherwise, you'll be at 15 out of 16, and you'll raise your cap by 1 by buying the skill, but it won't actually fill up. So you need to make sure to rest. But if you buy it just after the monkeys fight, you'll automatically refill. Just a quick note there. Okay, so let's go over that again. You can notice me walking around a little bit during the Ash part, and I'll try and show why I do that. So if you don't, you can get into a bad situation where I don't think it'll happen here, but if I just don't move at all, you can see I get very close to the fog wall. There! The Ash can go into the fog wall like that. So you want to make sure you don't completely ignore your positioning. You can basically move during the Ash animation, during the throw animation, and that gives you plenty of control to just stop that from happening. But it's just something to be aware of. You don't have to worry about much of anything else. You almost always have room to walk behind him to do the phase 2 part, so no worries there. So to talk a little bit more about the phase 2 part, the only thing that can go wrong is if you wait too long after he falls down from the death blow animation of phase 1. So you need to make sure you do the first mortal draw quickly enough, because if he starts turning, you'll still hit him, but if he's turned around like that, bad things can start happening. So just make sure you do it quickly enough. So I'll just show it again. I'll actually wait too long to show maybe a potential mistake. Again, I can sneak past him, no problem. See how he turns? That doesn't actually stun him anymore. So that's bad. I'm not sure if it's actually possible to go too early. He does have iframes during the animation where he's on the floor, but as long as you walk all the way around him to his back, I don't think you can actually go too early, so... But... don't quote me on that. just make sure you don't go too late. But that's really the only part I would call precise about this strat. Otherwise, just make sure you do all the inputs and it'll work every time. It's possible that he rolls away in phase 2, but that's not a problem. Hopefully I can show that here. Okay, sometimes after that first mortal draw, he'll roll away. He's not doing it now. I'll try one more time, just to see if he wants to do it. But as long as you don't wait too long, even if he rolls, you can... your firecrackers will catch him, and then just make sure you walk forward 2 steps before you do the last 2 mortal draws. He'll stay stunned, and it's not a problem. The only mistake you can make there if he rolls away and you already threw the firecrackers, and then you immediately queue up the mortal draws, they'll partially miss him and he won't die. So just make sure if he rolls, just walk after him, no big deal. Again, see if he does it. If not, I'm gonna go over one more quick strat where we fight him without any items or mortal draw, just in case your run requires that. But if not, I would recommend learning this strat. It's just peace of mind. There you go, there's the roll. So walk forward, and you're good. That's just an RNG. He can decide to roll. There's nothing you can do about it, but it doesn't get you killed. Okay, for the sword only strat, we're just gonna run up to him and deflect this combo. It's always the same in phase 1, he just has the one move. It's 4 hits, short pause, then 5 hits, a short pause again, and then 1 last hit. His attack is actually pretty interesting in that you can, during the part where he's just wailing on you, you can actually just spam deflect, and it'll just work. Normally that doesn't work, it takes away your parry frames. But for some reason against this guy it's fine. So just make sure you don't spam through the pauses, because that will get you hit. So I just count 4, 5, 1, but if you want to spam, you can. Also works. I'll try and show both, but might not be very good at it. We'll see. The only other thing, just make sure you don't kill him on a jumping death blow. Like if you head stomp him and then kill him on the way down, that's bad, because that's going to put you in a really bad position for phase 2, because we need to be in a correct position to be able to deal with phase 2, as I'll hopefully show here. So that's what it looks like. Just to explain a little bit what was going on there. In phase 2, he gets an extra move, as you could see. And there's almost no tell for it. It's basically instant. So the problem is, even if you somehow are able to react to it, the third hit is actually not deflectable. It's just the attacks are basically too quick, and even if you successfully parry all of them, your parry frames, there's just not enough time for all the deflect animations, and you just get hit. There's nothing you can do. So you need to outspace that attack, and the way I do it is after the death blow, I basically backstep immediately, no matter what move he's gonna do, and then if he does the quick one, I just keep walking backwards until it's over. He does 3 quick hits, and then he does that sweep attack, and you can head stomp that if you want. I'll show it again here. Honestly, unless you're working with restrictions, I would really recommend using some sort of script to kill phase 2, but just in case you can't, or you don't want to, here is how I would fight phase 2 if you absolutely must. So backstep. Head stomp that. Important not to head stomp here, because he can do the quick move, and then you don't have time to react. So when he does the long combo at the end, he'll always do he'll back away from you and then do a sweep attack. If you head stomp that, he can start that quick move in midair, and then you have no chance. So make sure never to head stomp after you've just deflected that long combo. So one more. The game wants to load. Last thing I'll mention, you do that backstep preemptively, but if you see he's going for that long combo, the one from phase 1, you do have to walk back into him, because if you deflect it from long range, it also bugs out and you'll get hit. Basically for the same reason you can't deflect those 3 slashes. I'm not sure what exactly is going on there, but basically if you start deflecting that attack from too long range, then you'll just get hit no matter what. I'll actually show it here in phase 1. See? Third is a block, no matter what. Now I lost the rhythm, so... But that third block is actually... No matter what you do, that'll happen. Just to show the thing I mentioned about spamming, I'll just show that here. Try and watch the input tracker. You'll see I press way more times than he's attacking me, but as long as I do the pauses when he pauses, then I'm fine, basically. Like that. I really tried to mash it there to get the point across. It's up to you whether you think that's easier or not. I personally like sticking to the rhythm, but I know some very good players who like mashing there. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. I like just getting the snake to destroy the bridge. It means you don't take any fall damage. Not necessary at all. So I just swim around here. As soon as the snake appears in front of the cave, you can just swim past. Sometimes the snake doesn't appear right away. When you're like around, when you're swimming around that rock, sometimes the snake hasn't appeared yet when you come around. Just don't swim straight into it if he's not there. Just kind of wait for him to appear and then you can go. Next up, another, there's 2 paths here I'll show. Actually, is that true? Yes, there's 2 paths. Okay. For the first one, I'll just use a gachin sugar and I'll go the fastest path. Jump down here. Make sure you jump over this gun monkey. He has a gun, the one with the hat. You don't want to aggro him. If you jump over him, he shouldn't see you. This way, no one's aggroed, nothing to worry about. And now you're there. One more path. That I'll show in case there's someone going for damageless. Because there's 2 more Akko sugars in this valley that if you have Yash you absolutely don't need, but if you're a damageless runner you might need. This is actually where the shuriken comes in. You do the same thing. This gunner sees you. As soon as he lands, just 2 shurikens kills him. Meant to grapple down here. It would let me run off. So grapple down here, jump down here. 2 Akkos there. And now, this part, there's nothing that can see you anymore. Nothing to worry about anyway. So that's the other path. The gachin for the first path is optional, but I would recommend using it. And we get mid-air combat arts there. And we go down towards the snake cave down here. Jump up there. There's two ways to go. There's two ways to do this. The safe, or I mean both ways are safe, but the easier way is to equip the Puppeteer ninjutsu here. And Puppeteer this monkey, it'll do like a... It's like a scripted thing where he jumps up there and the snakes eat it. The snake eats him. So you want to wait for the snake to turn and then immediately grapple. So he turns, grapple straight away. That gives you the most time to go past. There's other opportunities as well when he starts attacking, but he has like hitboxes there, so don't want to mess with that in my opinion. And then you end up in the poison pool. Let's show the quick way. So, the quick way, gotta run straight, around, jump off the side, take that grapple point, the snake will miss you. This, you can't really slow down at any point there, because if you let the snake appear and start camping in front of the door, then you don't actually have time to do that anymore. So you need to make use of the fact that the snake like appears. You need to use the animation from that, if that makes sense. Because like he's not there initially, so... Okay. Poison pool, grapple across here. No gotchi is needed for any of this. Jumping death blow him. Grapple across. Snake Eyes just barely doesn't go yellow. If she does go yellow, it doesn't matter. Oh, I did let her go yellow because I paused. But if she sees you when you're back there, she'll go yellow, but you can still just grapple across, it doesn't matter. I just gotta wait real quick. So this is why we got mid-air combat arts, because like Fliss said in chat, do a jumping mortal draw, it does more damage, so this is just a way to get a little bit of extra damage on Snake Eyes before we fight her. So we're gonna use a Yash. You want to equip MD. I'm gonna have mid-air combat arts. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna jump, do a mortal draw, do one more mortal draw after that. And then you have to deflect whatever attack she decides to do. After you've deflected it, you have two options. I like just fighting her with the sword. Just do one attack at a time. And she'll never do any weird gun nonsense. She won't pull out the gun on you. She'll just do melee attacks. See if I can show it here. I'll just show the opener and then I'll go into the moves a little bit more. It's the opener, deflect, the grab. That's the basic idea. After the first deflect, it's actually possible if you keep holding your block button and just start spamming the attack button. You'll just do a mortal draw and she won't have time to react. But it's a little bit tight. I actually don't like doing it personally, but it's completely consistent. I won't buff to show it, I guess. Yeah, see, like my muscle memory is not good there, so... But the mortal draw was in time. Let me try that one more time. I personally like just finish the fight sword only. It's just less inputs, fewer inputs. So I'll do one more attempt at the Mortal Draw strat. Yeah, like that. You can keep doing that forever, by the way. So if you have like low damage, you have a low damage run or something, you can keep doing that. It's safe. Even if you run out of emblems, doesn't matter. So that's one option. Next option is to fight her sword only, like I said. You want to deflect the attack she does. Then if she's done the grab, you want to attack her twice. She'll take one vitality hit and then block the next one. And if it's any other attack, you want to attack her just once. And then she'll just block that straight away and then do another attack. So I'll hopefully show it here. Block. Grab, so 2 attacks. 1, 2. 1. 1. She'll just do 3 different attacks here. That quick melee attack is like the most common one. Do that again. So if you do the Mortal Draw opening with a Yasugar, you should only need like 2 deflects really. But just to show the general idea of what to do after each move. But on the dead angle strat, no, I haven't tried that. The speedrunner's kind of dead angle here. That's what Fliss is referring to. But I think that's more difficult. One. Grab. 1, 2. Alright, she's dead. So, yeah. Apart from that, it's just getting used to the different timings for those attacks. One more thing I forgot to mention is that when you're doing this sword only strat where you're just trading hits with her, it's important that she's backed up against either this little cliff edge or against the wall. Otherwise, she does have the option to do a backstep. So whenever you saw me doing the Mortal Draw opener before, you see me turn around first. So I'm backing her up against that little cliff there. I'll try and show what happens if you don't do that here. So I'm just gonna stay on this side. Fight her. There, backstep. And bad things happen sometimes. She has an option to do moves you don't want to see, basically. So it worked fine there, but just trust me, just turn around, make sure she's backed up against the cliff there. That's all there is, really. That strat should be completely... It should be hitless safe, as long as you kill that gunner that we killed coming in. You do have to kill that guy, obviously. The one we did the jumping death blow on. If you don't kill him, then he can shoot you while you're fighting Snake Eyes. But as long as you kill him, it should be safe, yeah. Okay, so... Don't mess with this chicken. Just grapple around him. Just trust me. Don't mess with him. These are 3 Yashugars, you want those? We go here. In case you didn't pick up the Snapseeds in Gunfort, there's 3 more. 3 is all you need, so... You pick the ones in Gunfort, you don't need to pick these up. But they're right on the path, so either or is fine. You do this tree skip. That's the idea anyway. So, to do this, you want to kind of, as soon as you wall jump off the tree, you kind of want to like go forward, and that'll land you right on the branch. Press it a little more than I did, but you don't want to go over. If that makes sense. Skill Miss Noble, however you want. Plenty of emblems to MDM if you're so inclined. Pick up the Yashiriko on the way out. It spawns like between you and the 2 emblems. This grapple point is kind of a meme. If you try and jump straight down like this, it'll, yeah, here you see it disappears on you. So you wanna, after you grapple down here, just don't, you know, just go around, because like it's on this side of the tree. So there's also like a YOLO grapple you can do, but it's safe though if you do want to do that. Hey. That path through the Amiibo village is really not, it's not that specific. You can do kind of whatever you want. The only part you have to be a little worried about is the dude with the bell. Okay, so next up is the Corrupted Monk. I equip the Snap Seeds, put the ashes in the slot behind. So stick to the left side of the arena here. I like to point my camera at the wall, that way I won't accidentally go in the arena. I don't think the actual camera position matters, but if you do it correctly, she'll never turn around, so you can just kind of hang out here as long as you want. Even after we start stunning her, she won't aggro to us actually, so if you kind of, I don't know, if for whatever reason you want to stop stunning her, as long as you stay behind her, it's no big deal. So we're gonna use Snap Seeds, Ash, and Firecrackers to stun her, and every stun kind of moves her back. And once she gets far back enough, we're gonna use this this little pillar here to stealth deathblow her, because that's a thing. So the order of items really doesn't matter. How many items kinda doesn't matter, as long as you have like, let's see, like 12 stuns should be plenty, honestly. Speedrunners do it with 7, I think. So I'll just use the Snap Seeds. Use the Ash. Use like 2. Firecrackers. One thing worth pointing out is she'll only actually move backwards if you stun her consecutively. So if I just throw an Ash, kind of watch her feet here, she'll go back, and then after the stun animation she steps forward. Now she's back where she used to be. So to actually move her back, I have to stun her, and then during the stun animation stun her again. Then she goes back. And that's the jump you want to do. I'm gonna jump without holding backwards, and then hold backwards after you're in the air to get the most height. And then jump off the pillar. Like that. I think that's pretty much everything I had to explain there. Not much else to it. Use the memory. Now you want the mind emblem, and you want both the stealth skills. To be honest, it doesn't really matter too much what you get at this point, but I think those skills will do the most for you. At least the emblem will do something on the next fight. The other skills kinda don't. And after we kill the Guardian Ape, we can get the last skill we want, so the order doesn't really matter, as long as we get the emblem now. So grab the stone. You could homeward idle as well. I think it's probably a little bit faster. Depends on your load times. Go back to the Guardian Ape. Alright, again, just re-recording this part because did a kind of a bad job in the stream. The idea for this fight, want to use a Yashiriku sugar. You actually have two for this fight, so you can use one in phase 1 and one in phase 2. The one in phase 2, quite often he'll just stall you out and it won't do anything, but you might as well use it. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll help you do a bit of damage. So you wanna, from the idle, jump down, go next to this tree here. As soon as you pass this tree, it's gonna aggro, so you're safe, you know, behind this tree. Gonna use the Yash sugar. I'm gonna lock onto him as soon as I can. Jump towards, use a mortal draw in midair, then one more mortal draw afterwards. It's gonna put him into a big stagger animation. And from then, it's important that I do just the right amount of damage. If I do too much damage, he's gonna fall on his back and run away. But if I do just enough, I can essentially store stagger damage and wait for him to get back up. And then if I attack him again, he'll start his stagger animation from the start. So let's just show what that looks like. Mortal draws 2 more R1s, then wait. Then he re-staggers like that. 2 R1s. Wait. Big stagger, 2 R1s. Wait. And he's dead. So, the important part is noticing that big stagger animation where his head goes up like a lot. After that animation, you want to do 2 more R1s, and then you wait for him to get back up, and you can restart the stagger if you time it correctly. It's kind of a tight timing, but if you learn it, like I said, it'll work on any run. So, and you need to hit that timing at least once in no matter what strat you do. So I would recommend just learning it. The Yashiriku, in case you are a damageless runner or you run with no buffs or whatever, it's optional, doesn't matter. If you don't have a buff, it'll work exactly the same way. I'll just show what happens if you attack too much. So same thing, 2 mortal draws, big stagger animation. If I attack 3 times here, he'll do that. He'll fall on his back and run away from you, and now it's bad. Kinda have to fight him at that point. So, one more thing I like to do is between the pauses where you don't have to attack him, I like walking around him to his back. That just kind of stops you from whiffing, because his body kind of moves a lot when he's doing those staggers, and if you miss an R1, it's immediately over. Like, he's gonna get away from you. So you walk around him, makes it less likely to happen. See how his hind leg it's not really moving, I'm just hitting it. That's the idea. So, in case you let him get away from you, it's not over, especially if you're behind him. That's not a reason to kind of go around him when you get the chance. If you let him get away and you're behind him, he usually just runs off. He doesn't immediately attack you. You can't reset the fight at that point. The Homeward Idol animation just takes way too long. You just kind of don't have a chance. But if you can get 5 stabs in, if you just learn his moveset, it's pretty tricky. It's not an easy fight if you're just using the sword. But if you can learn the moves and do 5 stabs, you can actually get him to stagger again, and from that point you can just get the loop back. So I'll see if I can show it here. So I'm gonna do the opener, and let's say I just like, whoops, I attack too much, he gets away from me. Now I just need to fight him. I won't go too in depth on all these moves, but 1 stab, 2 stabs, 3 stabs, 4 stabs, 5 stabs, and then 1 more, and he's back in the loop. And now I've recovered. Now I can just do the same thing as before. So I would recommend practicing that fight at least a little bit. It's not an easy fight, to be honest, but if you can learn it, then at that point, even if he gets away from you, your run isn't instantly dead, you know? So that's kind of a nice little bonus. The last thing I have to mention for phase 1 is that occasionally, if you re-stagger him kind of too late, but you still catch him, his stagger pattern will be a little bit different. So this will happen very rarely if you're doing it correctly. But just in case it happens, the important part is to notice the big stagger where his head goes all the way up and back down, and you need to make sure you don't accidentally attack too much, because as soon as that stagger happens, you need to do 2 more R1s and then wait. So I'll see if I can show it here. I'm gonna kind of re-stagger him too late here. That was well timed, so that's not gonna happen. There. See, that big stagger happened early there. But again, I just do 2 more R1s and no worries. You just have to realize, you have to notice he skips that second stagger. That's just a little thing to keep in mind. So for phase 2, if you're using my strat for phase 1, you should have 11 emblems left, which will let you speed up the fight quite a bit. Make sure you have the spear equipped. That's the reason we got it in the first place. In this route, you should have 1 Yashiriku available for this phase and 1 confetti as well. But like I said, it's kind of random whether they do anything or not. But I guess pop them if you want when he's on the floor like this. So the move we're looking for in this phase is this kind of stab move. I'll just wait for him to do it here. Anything else, you can make it as hard or easy on yourself as you want. You can just run away from literally everything else. Like, just don't bother with anything. But there is punishes for all of these moves. This is the move you want. And these follow-ups, they lead to this huge overhead slam, and if you deflect it, he staggers, and you can spear him like that. And because we have the emblem spare, we can jumping mortal draw afterwards for a bit more damage. So this is the move we want. That's unlucky, sometimes he does that, just run away. Jump over the sweep. You can deflect stuff like this as well, and sometimes it'll lead to this too, but it's not... it won't happen every time. There's like a bunch of different combinations you can do. But this one usually leads to good things. Again, that's the topple. That's what we're looking for. Essentially, there's 4 follow-ups to that stab move. We've already seen 2. This is that second one from before. The second follow-up is that scream, that little short scream he did earlier. Again, that's just a different follow-up you can do if you deflect it. The trick here is that two of the follow-ups, they look very similar, but they have different timings, so you have to be aware of that. I'll try and highlight it if I can. But I'll just fight him here until he's done all four, so I can mention them. This one, you just run away. It's not worth bothering. And then you can come in for the last one, and it'll still stagger him like that. So it's not worth trying to deal with that. Just as soon as you see his arm go straight up, then just run away. It's from before. Just kind of his whole body goes up on that one. That's how I like to see that one. Again, stuff like this, just run away in my opinion. It's a little bit tight to run away from some of this stuff. It's up to you if you want to maybe deflect the first attack and then run away. If you deflect the first hit, you'll always have time to run away afterwards. I'll just show the basics here, which is just dealing with that stab move. There's one more follow-up he hasn't done yet, so I'm just gonna fight him until he does it. Seen this one. I wouldn't recommend jumping over this one, I would just back up. This one you should jump over. Just to give yourself the most time. Okay, he seems happy doing this move over and over. Again, arm straight up, so back up. Come back in for the last one. Staggers him. And I could obviously be spearing him on any of these, but I just want to show one more move. Because it's quite nasty. It's actually one of the hardest parts about this fight, is to notice the difference between two of these follow-ups he has on that stab move. Seen that one. There it is. See, and this leads to the same combination. He still staggers on the third one, but that timing is different from the other one. So you want to make sure you know the difference between those, and you can spot them very quickly, because otherwise you'll get a block on that attack. And one last thing to mention, when he does this dive attack, you want to make sure you don't break his posture during that. It's very rare that you'll have the chance to even, but essentially breaking his posture doesn't actually get rid of the hitbox on that attack, so you'll break his posture and then die. So it's just make sure you don't do that. Back up. Spear. Kill him like that. Like I said, there's way more punishes than I just showed, but if you just keep it simple like that, it should be a very consistent fight. Just make sure you notice the difference between those two very similar moves that I mentioned. Afterwards, just grab the flower, sit down at the idol. Use the memory. And then the last skill we want is Shinobi Eyes, makes us do a little bit more posture damage when we Mikiri counter things. Then travel to Abandoned Dungeon. Last running section. Looks a little scary. Really isn't. Not much that can go wrong. Stick to the right of this bridge. It's a cool little trick. If you stick to the right, this red guy will aggro to the dude that's hiding, and he won't care about you at all. Pick this up. It's the last Yash that we want. Grapple up here. As soon as you grapple to this roof, wait. Wait for this guy to drop down, and then go. If you go earlier, he has an attack. He has like a jumping attack, and you don't want him to do that. So this is optional, but for peace of mind, if you have a Gachin trigger, I would use it here. It saves you having to dodge one projectile right at the end. Regardless of whether you use it or not, you want to take this path, jump here, grapple there, then jump sideways like that, because if you don't have a Gachin, that guy behind me, he didn't spot me now because I have the Gachin sugar, but he throws a little something, and if you jump like that, it'll miss you. So maybe I'll show that here. I'll actually also show that jump attack I was talking about. Just realized I typed in my splits again. Stick to the right. He won't see you. Grab this. So, I'll see if I can get him to do the attack. So if you don't wait, you just kind of like walk forward. That's the one, and that's very scary. And if you don't use a Gachin here, you'll probably see the projectile. Talking about the path is the same. He spotted me. There it goes, under there. But as soon as you reach the roof, all the enemies de-aggro and you're fine. So for Emma, what I like to do, if you want to double buff, you want to use the Yashiriku outside of the arena, in my opinion, because double buffing at the start of the fight is very dangerous, might even be just completely inconsistent. But if you use this Yashiriku outside of the arena, if I go in here, it won't let me, so I have to stand on the outside here. You can actually, before you do this, you can go talk to Owl and select Obey the Iron Code twice, but then exit the dialogue. Now, if I walk back up to him, there's no, like, I don't have to skip through any dialogue, so I can get the maximum use out of my buff, if that makes sense. So I can use this. Walk up to him, I've already done the dialogue. And I can use the confetti as soon as I spawn in. So for this fight, there's this kind of loop we do. She does a grab, just run away like that. Like this. You'll just trade 1 for 1. And there's a couple of things you want to keep in mind when doing that. This is a really good idea. This is a really good example of that loop there. She actually gave me pretty good RNG there. So that's the basic idea of the fight. I'll go over it a few more times to show all the things that she can actually do, because she was very kind to me there. One thing that can happen is after you attack her, she won't actually block, she'll just back up. At that point, it's really tricky, but in my opinion, you should just be patient, wait for her to attack you. She'll bleed posture sometimes, but the thing is, if you try and attack her to get her to block to get the loop back, you have the chance that she selects a hyper armor move the second you attack, and then you just get hit, and there's nothing you can do at that point. So, to be completely safe and consistent, you should just wait for her to attack you again. See if I run into that here. Jump over that. That double you want to learn. So this here, I just wait. I get the loop back. And just wait, usually she comes back pretty quickly. She does that, if she turns her back to you, she's going for that like combo move where she spins around 3 times and tries to she tries to get away from you, but if you do this loop correctly, you'll always catch her, and then you can just attack her one more time and she'll block and you're back in the loop. So you should never see that move if you do this correctly. Occasionally, if you buff at the start of the fight, she'll do a thrust attack, but you have plenty of time to Mikiri it if you're just using one buff. But that's just a thing to keep in mind if you are buffing at the start of this. Not much else to really go over. Just make sure you're patient whenever she backs up. Learn this double. Learn the tell for that. I like holding forward during this. As you can see, between hits I kind of walk towards her, and it keeps me very close to her in case she tries to do this move. And I can always reach her like that. That'll basically always work. This move you shouldn't even really see, but it leads to a thrust attack. That grab, just run backwards, attack twice, and you're back. So that's all for Emma. For Isshin, if we want to double buff, we want to pop the confetti when the execution text is on screen, the Yashirigu when the text just fades, and it's kind of perfectly timed like that. I'll just go over the Isshin fight separately here. The main idea for this one is again a sort of loop, except there's a lot of different things you can do. It's not quite as strong of a loop as Emma, but I'm gonna still learn this. See if I can show it here. Just ignore this for now. Basically the loop starts as soon as he deflects one of your hits, like this. And then he has 2 options. Either his sword comes straight down like he's doing now, and you just deflect and attack again. Or he is gonna stand still. He's gonna kind of... he deflects and then he's kind of stationary for a second there, and that's very important that you read the difference. This, because he's going to do that shove, and that has slightly different timing. So you need to learn both. You need to learn the difference there between those 2 moves. So the sword comes straight down, slightly faster. If he stays standing up, the sword stays up, then he's going to do that shove, which is slightly delayed. Okay, so let's go back. That's the basic, kind of the first building block for this fight. Obviously there's a lot more going on there. I'll try and cover everything. But first thing, just learn that loop. Learn the difference between those 2 moves. You can already see when he does that thrust attack, and he does that shove. Between that and the thrust attack, you can fit in an R1 before you Mikiri. It's optional. You don't have to do that. But it is completely consistent, so cover these other moves in a second here. see, do the thrust attack one more time. Like this, R1, then Mikiri. Like completely safe. Just kind of a rhythm to it. Like he'll usually do this loop for quite a while. It's pretty it's not super uncommon for him to do it that long. So a couple more things for phase 1, and then I'll move on to phase 2. In your run, his opening RNG, it's gonna be, I want to say like 9 times out of 10, he's gonna open with this charge attack. It's not completely guaranteed, but it's very, very likely. It's a bit less likely in this reflection I'm playing now, just don't ask me why, but it's just how it works. I'll try and see if I can get him to do that move, and then I'll show you how to deal with it. You basically want to attack into it rather than deflect it. Like that. And he'll block it, and there's nothing to worry about. You can just start looping him straight away. You can also deflect it, but the window is just tighter. So it's just easier to just attack into it, in my opinion. Another move you can do is this Ichimonji that I would recommend dodging through. Basically, the reason for that is that in phase 2 you have to dodge through it. You can deflect it in phase 1, but if you like doing that, go for it by all means. But in phase 2 you'll have to dodge it, because you'll take damage if you deflect it. So this move, you can just dodge through, attack him afterwards, and you'll get the loop back. One other important thing is if you attack him when he's in neutral stance, see if I can get that to happen here. And he's kind of not doing anything, he's kind of like walking around a little bit, like this. He'll always dodge like that. And he'll get iframes. So whenever he's not attacking and you attack him, so he was attacking there, so he blocked. If he's just kind of walking around and you come up to attack, he'll always dodge like that. One more time. Like that. And he has two follow-ups to that. You saw the grab earlier, and then the slash he did just now. If he does the slash, just deflect it, and you'll be able to attack again after that, and you'll get the loop back. Let's see if I can show that. Okay, I was too far away from him there, so he didn't actually dodge. That's the grab, you have to run away from that. Grab again, never lucky. Show the loop a little bit. There. Spin attack, attack twice. You would have the loop back if you didn't go for that there. One other thing that can happen is he can go for a... He can sheath his sword, go for this Ashina cross attack. I'm gonna restart the fight. We show it. It's kind of rare, but it can happen. If he doesn't do it here, I'll see what I can do. Maybe a little separate segment does it. But the idea when he does that is to just, you can attack, keep going after him, and then when you're close to him, he will cancel that attack. He'll like unsheath his sword, and you can deflect that, and then jump over the sweep, because he always does a sweep after that. If I can show it. This. So attack afterwards. You just keep attacking into it, and it kind of lines up perfectly. After you hit him twice, you just deflect after that, and the timing is quite nice. So hopefully that was clear. I don't think he's going to do it again. So I'll go to phase 2 here. One more time there, and then just jump over the sweep. For phase 2, this is the setup to get your buff. And after that, you can do 2 jumping mortal draws there. Like I said, you have to dodge this in phase 2, so the fire. Apart from that, the loop is still the same. Dodge that. That was very awkward because I was near the edge there. You can do some mortal draws with some of these punishes. For example, this one. You can do a jumping mortal draw there. Make sure it's fast enough so he doesn't get away. Apart from that, pretty similar. This one you can also just cancel with a mortal draw like that. This one you always want to cancel. You can do 2 mortal draws, that's safe. Restart the fight, show some more things. Once again, here's the buff setup. This move, cancel it. This move, I would say also cancel it. Show you what to do just in case, for whatever reason, you react slowly and you can't cancel them anymore. That move is extremely rare. It only happens if you're behind him. That's just something to be aware of. You should never see that, ideally. Let's see if I can have him do it again here. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for 1 or 2 more moves and then I'll wrap up here. So for this one, if he's too far away for whatever reason, find a place with no fire, and then just dodge through when he comes up there. Ideally, that should never be necessary. Like, you have a lot of time to run up and cancel that attack. But just in case, like, you can deal with it. Not like you're guaranteed to get hit if you miss it. See if I can have him do that sweep attack one more time. It's pretty rare. This one, run sideways and jump. If you're further away from him, it's a little bit easier, so... And obviously if you're closer, it's better to just cancel it with a mortal draw. There's that sweep attack again. My advice would just be to stay away from that, if he ever does it. But like I said, it only happens if you're behind him, so... If you fight him normally, it shouldn't really happen. Okay, if anyone has any questions or comments, whatever, anything I've missed, let me know in Discord, or I guess Twitch Whispers, and I'll happily help you out.